All right, introductions to the commissioners, starting on my left. You.
Me?
Yes,
Let's
you.
do it. Amy Bootblack, city member.
Terry Withrow, county member.
Vito Chiesa, county member.
Richard O'Brien, city member.
Bill Berryhill, public member.
Javier Camarena, Assistant Executive Officer.
Sarah Lytle Penny, Executive Officer.
Rob Terrell, LAFCO Council.
Jennifer Vieira, Commission Clerk.
Thank you all. At this time, we'll have public comment, where people may comment on items not on the agenda, and people wishing to speak or asked to fill out the speaker card, and I believe I have a considerable, so we'll start with that. Jamie Agers, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jamie Agers. I reside at 7730 McHenry Avenue, Modesto, California. That's in the unincorporated area of Stanislaus County. Thank you for meeting tonight. It's been a while, so it's been a while since we've spoken. And you know most of this, but I'm just going to review a few things briefly. We notified the City of Riverbank back in May that we intended to petition residents to get an urban limit initiative on the ballot. In June, we were given the go-ahead, which gave us 6 months to collect the signatures, and so that process concluded in December. In mid-December, we provided the signatures we'd gathered to the city, and the next step was for the review by the County Register of Voters. I met with the City of Riverbank staff on January 29th to review the results of their analysis. The following day, January 30th, Riverbank released the draft environmental impact report for the Riverwalk project. So we've been very, very busy reviewing that document since that time because comments are due March 18th. Back to the ballot initiative. You probably have heard that we were 104 signatures short of meeting the goal. And we let Riverbank know that we failed to meet the minimum number of signatures due to unscrupulous activity and behavior of a single paid signature gatherer. So at this point, we're reviewing all possible legal remedies to that criminal activity. Meanwhile, we have again notified Riverbank that we intend to restart the petition process, and we're currently waiting for the ballot title and summary so that we can get started again. When this comes before you, which it likely will, please consider voting no. Riverbank is currently 3,000 acres, and this project would add 1,000 acres, so a 1/3 increase to its size or its city limits, and 1,500 acres to its sphere of influence after having received 1,500 acre increase to its sphere back in 2016. Thank you.
Dan Whetstone?
Good evening. My name's Dan Whetstone. I live at 7824 McHenry Avenue. I'll just repeat what I said last night at the Riverbank City Council. Basically, is why isn't Riverbank developing from the city limits out? There's several miles of farmland there between the nursery, Morris Nursery, and where this project is planned. It seems to me like we would incrementally build out, maybe even build the bluff around this river, this lush river bottom. The river bottom should be the last place to develop, not the first. That's what it sounds like we're doing. We're going to develop that first, mainly just because a landowner wants to make a bunch of bucks. So please consider. I think most of you've been down there and looked at that, but it's just the last place that development like this should happen, if ever. Thank you.
Karen Colorado?
What was that?
Karen.
Karen.
My name is Karen Conrado. I'm glad to see all of you. Good evening. I live on Hogue Road, and I'm here to oppose the Riverwalk that the City of Riverbank is considering. Last night at the Riverbank City Council meeting, a man came up to speak, and I didn't catch his name, and I believe he said he was a representative for the De Novo group for the Riverwalk. He seemed to me, he sounded mocking and sarcastic as he said, and these are not his exact words, but that we were concerned with the loss of farmland, but where in Stanislaus County wouldn't you run into farmland? He seemed unaware of the vast loss of farmland we've already endured, and he seemed unwilling to acknowledge the differences in the quality of soils in this area. Although we have world quality soil here, there are areas that are not as good quality, and these areas should be targeted first for development. They're available to Riverbank and should be used first. The farmers of this valley have made this community strong. When we were growing up, the farmers were often the volunteer firemen who dropped everything and helped out whenever any emergency was occurring, whether it was a brush fire or a house fire or a car accident. There were pancake breakfasts and barbecue dinner fundraisers that brought neighbors and the community together. Farmers are honest, hardworking, family-oriented, and community-oriented men and women. We lose more than just farmland when we lose when another orchard is pulled. And as you seem to see all over the county, no matter what what road you drive down, we see pulled orchards, and houses are built. I just feel that this river walk, it looks like a beautiful plan, as Dan said last night, but it's in the wrong place. It's the wrong project in the wrong place. We're talking about urban sprawl, leapfrog development, water concerns, the list goes on and on, traffic, roads, congestion, noise, electricity, as we've said many times before. Anyway, please hope that you consider, if this comes before you, I would hope that you would have already researched it considerably well and turn this project down. Thank you.
Milt Treadwell.
Good evening, Milt Treeweiler. I'm a Stanislaus County citizen. Commissioners and Stanislaus County residents, we have many things to be concerned about. In today's world, we have to be careful about what we listen to and what we believe. There are too many people in the world who are dishonest, untrustworthy, and unethical. They live in a dream world. They worship money, power, and pleasure. There are people here in Stanislaus County who are scheming to destroy the future for our descendants. Their plan is to build more houses to bring Bay Area people in to live in the cities of Stanislaus County. This farmland is the best farmland in the world. Once you build houses on this farmland, you will never be able to grow food that we need to eat so our descendants can survive. This would be irresponsible, and all of our descendants would have to suffer for the bad decisions we would be making today. We are educated people. We don't have to make bad decisions. 1 acre of farmland, not 1 acre of farmland in some entire states and even countries are as good as the farmland in the proposed Riverwalk project area, or as the farmland in the north area of Turlock, or as the farmland in areas around Ceres, Houston, Modesto, and Salida. This farmland can grow food for hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't think some people realize how good our farmland is. It's worth more than gold. When you're hungry, you can't eat gold. In the entire country of Japan, they only grow 38% of their food that they need to eat. They have to import 62% of their food to survive. There is an abundance of poor soils in California for the developers to build houses on, like the Altamont Pass area, the area west of Interstate 5, and the area east of Oakdale. There is also a large landmass area northwest of Patterson and in the Fairfield area along Highway 12. The large acreages in these areas have poor soil or lack water and are not suitable for growing fruit and nut crops, but are fine for building housing developments on. We can also grow up and not out. Modesto is the only city with high-rise housing with 5 stories or more. We can build apartment building units, townhouses, condominiums in the infill areas of all Stanislaus County cities. Let us do the right thing. It's everyone's responsibility to preserve this farmland so our children can have food to eat. Let's all work together and preserve
Thank
the
you.
farmland around our cities in Stanislaus County so our descendants can have food to eat and can live happy lives. Thank you.
Gary, I'm going to mispronounce your last name on purpose because I can't read it. Yeah, Gary? You're going to have me educated on this, please.
Oh, it's Pearson.
Pearson.
Yeah, Pearson.
I did not get that.
Okay, well, I was at the city council meeting last evening. Good evening, my name is Gary Pearson. I reside at 2209 Cedarwood Circle in Riverbank, California. I moved back to this area about 2 years ago. I grew up in this area, born and raised, and as we were reminiscing a little bit, I grew up with canning peaches, fresh market peaches, wine grapes, and some of my professional career has been in table grapes up and down the valley. I spent 37 years working at UC Davis. I oversaw a considerable research facilities, all related to plants. So I know all the commodities that are grown in California. But really what I want to address is what is being proposed. My family are 4th generation. So I'm the 3rd generation, and now I have the 4th generation farmers. They're in the local area. They're committed to being farmers for the rest of their lives. What this proposal is going to do is going to take out significant farmland, and we can't reclaim it. There are many issues related to this, and I can allude to them based upon a presentation of last night. Let me go through them. We would be a loss of productive farmland and productive agricultural soils. That site has lots of classifications of soils, and I know what a Class 1 soil looks like. I know what a Class 2 looks like, Class 3, Class 4, and Class 5. Some of the work that I did was in those areas. This development is on a floodplain. You don't realize that there's been potential for 100-year, 200, and 500-year floods. Also, the farmers in that particular area put up a retention wall because the Stanislaus River would flood periodically. Right now, we're seeing about 1,500 to 1,700 cubic feet per second going down the Stanislaus. That river is rated for about 8,800 cubic feet per second. Now, that's controlled, but that may not happen, even though we have dams in place. We also have to protect and preserve our potential tribal cultural resources. We'll also see that there's going to be increased traffic and site access. There's operational noise. There's the whole utilities. This project would extend the sewer system to the riverbank, which is about 1.5 miles away and underneath the river. What particularly concerns me is in the city that I live is the city is being asked to extend its sphere of influence.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, appreciate your time.
I know we've had some correspondence, and we've had some recent correspondence. Do you have those 4 that we need to discuss? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have, is there any other public speakers?
Hi there, my name is Fred Walton. I live on Hogue Road, that's right above the proposed development. And I've lived there my whole life. But I can see there's a lot of red lights for this project. And I look at the vision of the area different than the development. I look at the river bottom of the river more of a greenbelt area, more for farming, sports fields, soccer fields, golf courses, things like that. I think that would fit more down there. And the upper piece, the bluff, I look at that for nice homes along that bluff and continuation of Park Ridge out, and then some commercial maybe on the south side towards Patterson Road. When I look at that project, I always ask you guys, have you ever gone down there and spent some time down there and sat there and had a vision yourself for what's best for that area? I think that's key. You're smart people. Go down there. What's it going to look like in 50 to 100 years? How can we think ahead? Like it is Class 1 soil. It has lots of water. And we can find many places to build real estate. But there's not all that many places with good farmland, good soil. So I want you to consider that. Also, what irks me is they say low density, medium density, and high density. The development seems to me it's all high density. My brother was reading through it and he says, I don't see any low density here or medium density. I think there's high 1, high 2, high 3 density. So that has to be considered. But anyways, I'm not against the owners profiting. I'm not against Bill. Bill's a good friend of mine. And but I just don't vision, and I don't vision that it all needs to be developed now. Why not just 100 or 200 acres of it? Why do we have to do 1,000 acres? So just some things to think about. I'd like to see you guys get down there several times. And it's a beautiful piece of property with lots of growth down there. That property can grow anything. Beautiful piece of property. Go down the river. The river needs protection. And I don't think those things have been into consideration much. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other comments? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. Correspondence?
Yes. So there was one additional piece of correspondence. It was a letter from your executive officer dated February 27th to the Patterson City Council regarding an agenda item they had last night about the Zacharias Baldwin annexation, and that's all.
All right, thank you.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
Chair? So what was the outcome of the meeting last night?
So I was planning on giving an update during the
Okay.
EO report.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to declaration of conflicts and disqualifications. If any member or staff has a conflict, please state at this time. Moving on to the consent calendar, consent items. Is there anyone wishing to pull a consent item?
Move to approve?
And we'll have a second, maybe?
Second?
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimous. Public hearing is none, but we're going to go on to other business. 2024 work program, municipal service review and sphere of influence updates.
Yeah, just to give you a quick update, part of your packet is the work program for 2024. In that packet, you'll see some of the MSRs we completed in this last year, 2023. It also provides a list of some of the MSRs we'll be completing this year, or at least plan to complete. Those include the West County CSDs, the Eastside Water District, the Resource Conservation Districts, and the Cemetery Districts, all in Stanislaus County. Also, next month, we will be bringing the Fire District MSR to the LAFCO Commission for consideration. And last, the report also just provides some information on additional items in the foreseeable future, including review of some pre-applications and additional potential proposals. So that's in your packet, and that's it.
All right, was there any comments from the public on this? Any comments or recommendations from the commission? Seeing none. This is we have to adopt this, correct?
Correct.
Move
All
to
right.
approve?
All right, good. I was waiting for that.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second on the 2024 work program. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And before we go to the next item, I want to thank Sarah, you and your staff for this last year. You made my job very easy. I want to thank Javier for your reports. I haven't seen too many of the words that could stump me. I think you're not trying, making the effort. And I want to thank both you and Rob for your support. And mostly Commissioner Chiesa for your support in our discussions with the county on elevating this, I'm going to say commission to the level that it should be. We're not completely there yet, but I'm sure we will get there. It's called progress. So at that point, I'd like to move on to the annual election of officers. And I believe, who's taking that?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
And thank you for being chairperson over the last year and doing this extra meeting as well, since we missed our January meeting. So currently, for the rotation of officers, the next eligible chairperson would be a county member. So that would be Commissioner Chiesa or Commissioner Withrow. And then we have the public member as eligible for vice chairperson. Typically, that would be the regular member, Ken Lane. It could be the alternate if need be. And we can accept nominations, and we can take the action at once or individually if you like.
I would like to see vice chair become chair.
I think that makes sense.
I would agree with that.
That's a
I
good
would second
progression.
that.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll just abstain from it. That's fine.
Okay, we have 4-0.
Okay.
The alternate, I mean, not, the vice chair.
Was there a motion and second on that?
Yes,
Did
it
you
was.
get that? Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. Sorry.
No, I got it.
Go ahead.
Strict formalities. but it's there.
All right.
I got it.
Continue on.
So I think Ken Lane would be the obvious choice.
And I,
as
But
regular
he's
member.
not here, so I think I should nominate him.
and
Okay,
I
do
will
it.
second that.
Yeah,
All in
please.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is 5-0 on that vote.
Won't miss
And
another
and
one.
we don't take this lightly, by the way. It's just,
No.
it's good nature you have to have from time to time. And I do appreciate it. And so with that, I'm going to pass the gavel
To finish up the meeting.
to finish up the meeting. Yes,
That's
sir.
very good. And on behalf of the rest of the commission, Richard, you've always taken LAFCO very seriously. You talked about elevating. I only helped you do what was your idea, and completely agreed that LAFCO is so important to the community. When we talk about annexations and municipal reviews and other things, and you've done a great job as chair. Your time as serving on LAFCO altogether. Again, you've been a great member, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to item 8, commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll go on to item number 9, additional matters at the discretion of the chairperson, which is a big nothing. We'll move on to 10, executive director's report.
Okay. So as promised, a little update about Patterson City Council meeting last night. I spoke at their meeting and provided a written comment regarding an item they had about the Zacharias Baldwin annexation application. As you know, that annexation was already approved back in July, and the next step was to schedule an election, to call for an election, which the city also did. The item last night that they heard and acted on has the intent to withdraw the application and also to halt the election proceedings. They approved that, and stay tuned. The letter that we provided I think pretty clearly spells out that the application cannot be withdrawn and provides some guidance about state law regarding the election.
So
Stay tuned.
Okay, was it, can you just give us heads up as to what Patterson used, or what their reasoning was to try and halt this?
They did have a staff report regarding some concerns that they recently raised regarding the development itself, regarding impact fees and agreements and ongoing lawsuits, and that's probably the quickest way I can summarize it.
Okay. You think we could get a copy of their staff report?
Yeah.
Just for,
Yeah.
Is that not generally worked out before they go through this whole process, Sarah?
You know, Mr.
Yeah.
I sit there and go,
Sorry if I cut you off there. I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
You know, it's part of the report, but maybe if you wanted a more in-depth discussion, we could bring it back. I'm sorry to volunteer you for that, but we might be getting a little far afield there.
We can bring back an informational item. What I expect is that we will likely be getting some correspondence from the city, and so we can put that on the agenda, and I can provide an additional update based on what they provide us.
Well, I thought your letter was
So they just
spot on. I
disregarded their
mean, the
letter.
law is the law. and-
Yeah.
you can ask that question.
Yeah, so they just disregarded the letter and went ahead and voted for it? On their council's advice? This is what I was curious.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So a couple other, unrelated to Patterson, but a couple other items for you. I need to remind you, if you haven't done your Form 700, to please do so. And if you did not receive an email regarding it, let Jennifer know, and she can get you a hard copy version if you need one.
Do you want to call out all of us who have not submitted ours?
Does she ever?
Will you call out? Will you
And
state
advice
who
of counsel,
has?
She's not doing that.
Told me no.
Will you state who has?
Yeah,
Advice of counsel, she's still not doing
Yeah.
that. 'Cause
Thank
that
you.
makes it obvious.
right,
I will send you all emails, whoever needs them.
yeah, thank you.
And just as a reminder, Javi mentioned for March 27th, we will have the updated municipal service review for the fire protection districts. We had a draft released in November, and then we provided some additional time for them for extra comments. So they have been noticed, and they'll be prepared as we are.
Okay.
No,
Any,
they won't, that you will be prepared, but they.
Hopefully, we're all prepared.
yeah. Any other questions for the executive director?
No.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the adjournment. The next commission meeting is scheduled for March 27th. And if there's nothing else for the good of the order, this meeting is adjourned at 6:28. Thank you.
Thank you.